Andi Purewal for ID Boxing. I'm joined by George Warren here in the immediate aftermath of what was a brutal heavyweight fight, which ended up with Zhang victorious against Joe Joyce tonight. George Warren, just your immediate aftermath to what we've seen in that ring tonight.
Yeah, I mean, a great fight while it lasted. We knew we were going to get that. We knew that they were going to both come and fight and land bombs and test each other's chins. I don't know the extent of Joe's eye injury. It looks quite bad at the moment. I don't think there was a huge amount in the fight. I think that Zhilei probably maybe a round up, something like that. But Joe was always going to struggle from that point when that eye started to close.
There was a lot of talk before the fight about the weight. Joe coming in a lot lighter than what he has previously. Do you think that played any part in the outcome of what we saw?
I don't know. I mean, look, that's not our job. That's the training team's job. And, they came in with a game plan. You could see in the beginning of the first round, Joe was moving in circles onto his right. And it seemed to be working. He got caught with a couple of big shots in that first round. And then all of a sudden kind of went reset mode back into kind of that juggernaut fashion of just plodding forward, taking too many shots. And Joe, people have always said it, you can't keep doing it. And it's not his chin that's gone, it's his eye. But that can happen in boxing. It happened to Daniel in his fight. And, that's for me, that's a pertinent point here because look at what happened with Daniel in that fight. A lot of people wrote him off. He's got his shot at Usyk coming up in the summer. Joe can come right back.
The left hand seemed to be landing just relatively clean throughout the fight. Was it ever a surprise to you, George, that maybe Joe never worked out a way to negate that from Zhang?
Yeah, look, I think it was always going to be difficult when the eye started to close. I mean, I can't recall exactly what round it was, but that moment that happens, it's difficult. If you can't see the shots, your peripheral vision's gone, things may be looking a bit closer than they are, objects looking a bit further away, so a punch landing on you and your eye's gone, it's going to be very difficult. But at the same time, Joe is not known for his defence. No one can sit here and say that that's what he's known for, being able to just keep coming forward, keep landing shots and eventually brutalise people down. But fair play to Zhilei. He was a strong guy. I think he struggled with that southpaw stance, Joe, tonight, and full credit to him.
George, is there a rematch clause?
Yeah, there is. I mean, I'm not going to go into huge detail about it all, but we've got an agreement in place with Zhilei moving forward. That rematch is Joe's right. It's not mine. It's his. Our relationship with Zhilei will continue regardless. But Joe has that right to take up that. We'll assess it. We'll sit down. So there's a bit of clapping going on for Joe, I think, and we'll assess it as a team. If he wants to take that rematch, we'll back him.
Just away from the main event, just thoughts on a few fights. Denzel Bentley with a stunning knockout victory tonight.
It's incredible. Didn't fancy that to happen. I thought that fight had rounds written all over it. Actually, fought the Kieran Smith. He got caught with a good shot. Glad to see that he was okay at the end of it. But yeah, great performance.
People talk about the Hamza Sheeraz fight. Will we see that?
I think it's a fight that's naturally going to be made. I mean, they're both with us. They're both British. It's one that the fans will call for. I mean, I don't know. After that performance, I'm sure Denzel wouldn't mind another go at Janabek. Maybe we can see if we can get him over here. I'd like to definitely talk to Top Rank about that.
Speaking of Top Rank, saw Mikaela Mayer obviously pick up that WBC interim title. What did you make of her fight and performance?
I think she boxed really well. It's always difficult when you have last-minute change of opponent, which is difficult and feel very sad. It's a shame for Christina what's happened, but Mikaela, she's a pro. She did what she had to do. Goes home with the title. Good luck to her.
Moses Itauma, third fight, first one going the distance, 6 rounds under his belt. Always looked comfortable, good solid bout for him.
He always looked comfortable. I mean, I think he hurt his hand in the second or the third. I think it might have been the third round. I don't think he necessarily would have meant that if he hadn't hurt his hand that he would have stopped this guy, but I think that is 6 rounds of quality experience. Dealing with an injury like that would be really helpful. Certain fighters being able to get that experience at 18 years old when they're 3-0, something that he will be able to lean on when he's getting, as he develops and the progression in terms of the opponent he's got to fight improves.
Sam Noakes again comes to the ring, gets his stoppage victory, leaves. A little disappointed he was in his post-fight interview with me. I think he was saying he wants a bit more of a step up now, more of a challenge.
Yeah, and he does, and that's the same with a lot of these guys, and I get that and we appreciate it, but it's about the timing. We're not just in the business of making great fights, of which that we like to think that we are, but we've also got to develop these guys. He's a young guy, he's 11-0 now, 11 knockouts, so his record suggests that he should be able to progress, but we've got to be careful. I think he's ready for the British title though.
George, just a couple away from this card, and we didn't have a chance to catch up in the week when some reports broke of a potential multi-fight type deal out in Saudi Arabia involving Fury-Usyk and then Joshua Wilder. Any truth in that you can fill me in on?
Not that I can fill you in on. Look, we get approaches all the time from various different sites, various different people about Tyson and his availability. Right now, we haven't had anything substantial, and there's no real offer. Nothing really to catch up on that.
Nothing substantial, but you had somewhat of conversations around that potentially taking place?
You can keep asking, and I will keep giving you the same answer. Yeah.
Can I get back to the same answer again, then?
No,
Right, George, listen, I appreciate your time. Thank you.
no problem.